silver was my number one choice back then, and it still most likely is today. Farmland correlates closely to gold. It doesn't correlate to the stock market. They can't come close to the demand that it's out there for the US dollar, mostly euro dollar. Going back to your podcast in over 2 years ago, a lot of people ask me, well, if you didn't have a chance to invest in farmland and you had to invest someplace else, where would it be? My choices was gold and silver, most likely the reverse, silver and gold, mainly because silver throughout history, like if you go back to Roman times, the normal ratio between silver and gold was about 12, 13, 14 to 1. It varies as it does today. In other words, 12 ounces of silver will buy 1 ounce of gold. But this was skewed way out of line where it became almost 100 to 1. So that's the reason I say silver was my number one choice back then. And it still most likely is today going forward. Because as you can see, what gold is doing, it's performing really, really well. But farmland correlates closely to gold. It doesn't correlate to the stock market. It isn't correlated to the stock market and so on, because at the time of problems and economic difficulties, people run to, and especially if there's a war coming, people run to gold, silver, farmland. Throughout the recessions in the past, always did reasonably well, as did agriculture. Why? I can go back to the Weimar Republic. Weimar Republic, they had inflation where it just was blown out of the water. You needed a wheelbarrow full of their currency to buy a loaf of bread. Okay, so what did people do? If you want some eggs from the farmer, the people would take the gold chain from their wife's gold chain, take a few links off. There's your few eggs. You want a chicken? Well, there are a few more links, but they were trading basically in gold, and the farmers did very well. Not very well, like relative to booming economies, but they did exceptionally well according to the rest of the industries and businesses.
Well, and I just got a note from my trading guy there, Dwayne Sidor, yesterday. He said a little bit of a red flag in the market. Copper is higher with gold and silver. That shouldn't be happening. That could be a flight to safety. Could see a commodity super cycle coming. Does that ring a bell? Does that resonate? Copper shouldn't be higher with?
Yeah, well, copper should be higher, definitely. But copper is correlated more or less to the economy. Okay, you have to have a good growing economy to use copper and silver to some degree as well, because it is an industrial metal as well.
Yep. Hey, point number 8. Yeah, go ahead.
Another thing about farmland, like everybody says now, well, the population may not grow from 8 billion to 9 billion, 10 billion, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's other factors that you have to consider as far as farmland is concerned. Annually, we lose between 10 to 12 million hectares. 10 to 12 million hectares, 10 times is about 25 million to 30 million acres.
Where's it going? Where's it going, Robert? That's a big number.
Well, that's wind erosion, urban expansion, desert creep, environmental issues,
climate change,
soil degradation, all kinds.
Climate change.
Yeah. So that being said, you're losing farmland, and so less can be grown. So it's like in commercial real estate or in real estate, you take out an X amount of buildings. Well, the people have to go someplace.
There's going to be a lot of questions, I think, about farmland values on the call today, and we'll continue to get to that. But number 8, USA currency debasement and key milestones. Bretton Woods, 1971. Nixon ends the gold convertibility. 79 to 82. Volcker tightening. Talk to me.
Well, the Bretton Woods agreement was the agreement for to have the U.S. dollar as the main currency for all the commodities, oil included.
Yep.
And then so that's why the world needs U.S. dollars and has to trade. Everybody's talking about, oh, there's a alternative, the BRICS and so on, but they can't come close to the demand that it's out there for the U.S. dollar, mostly euro dollar.